Hello everyone, welcome back to the Book Corner. I am Hermione, author and lover of all good things literature. So today's video is going to be a horror review. I've already done this review on Hermione's horror reviews, so I decided to go ahead and do this since I do have more subscribers than the other one. I actually had subscribed myself to my own channel. Don't ask. I just got tired of it not having subscribers. So, everyone knows it's spooky season. It is time to be terrified and scared to death and wonder what you did in your past life to deserve this. And so this video is basically that. Like, okay. Alright, so before I begin, I want to say I went on to Libby. Love the app. The app is awesome. And I was looking at all of their horror books to see what I could possibly read during the spooky season. Most of the ones I was really interested in were already checked out. And two of them, like, the puppet one and the hidden hallway one, they were also checked out. So I was like, heck with it, I'll just go ahead and buy it. And that's, everyone knows, it's gonna be in the thing. So, on my other channel, I did a video about twisting pleasant places. Places that you walk in and it's so beautiful and it's so colorful and it's so everyone leaves you the fuck alone because you gotta pick out your couch and you don't need somebody hanging over you. And I kind of get this feeling of like, you go into these places, these big box stores that suck you in to make you spend the money, and you kind of wonder, what happens when there's no one there? What kind of weird stuff happens in these big box stores? Well, fear not, Grady the author, has answered your question, and it is terrifying. Okay, I am doing a review of Horrorstor by Grady. Can't pronounce his last name. So, before I begin, this guy has written for Variety and Playboy and a couple other ones, so he's not a amateur when it comes to the written word. So, time to talk about Horrorstor, where you really do get your questions answered about what happens in a big box store once everyone leaves. So, Horrorstor is actually on my save for later, which I will actually be buying because I read the Kindle edition and I want to own the physical. So that way, if like I want to read it again next year, I can read it. So, Horrorstor. Yeah, it's it definitely is not your usual horror book. So the Horrorstor takes place in a big box store called Orkic. I believe I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So you got a couple characters in this one. You got I believe it's Marianne. I think it's either Marianne or Anne Ruth, one of the two. You've got Trinity, Amy, Basil, Matt, Carl. Carl is the homeless guy. Carl's the poor homeless guy. Alright, so what happens is, I'm going to mention stuff I did not mention in my first horror review on my new channel, but I will mention in this one. So, in this story, Basil, who is Amy's boss, who has worked his ass off to get to where he's at now, he has summoned Amy and her two little friends to come to his office and to have a word with them. And Amy believes that she is being fired. Well, she's not being fired, she's being volunteered. So, what is the job that Amy's going to do in this book? Well, she's going to stay overnight at this big box store and hope they catch the guy, or guys, or gal, I'll be clear on that, could be a girl, who has broken in and is damaging the merchandise. So what happens is those four come in there. The clean crew's already left. And they go and try to find out who is damaging the furniture, damaging the stuff, damaging stock, all that. Well, that's how we meet Carl. Carl is the homeless guy who is essentially living in the store. And I know this is going to go off. I know it's going to. So they meet him, and then of course they meet Matt. Now Matt is an employee there, and he has said that the land that this store is currently residing on used to be a prison, and a prison that was not a nice prison. I mean, this prison, they did some shit that's banned by the Geneva Convention. And so what happens is they're basically going around and they're, and all this, and Basil still believes there's somebody breaking into the store and damaging the stuff. Well, they soon find out how, see, I told you. There we go. Sorry. They soon find out how wrong they are. In fact, they find out how really wrong they are. And the thing about it is that the entire land is haunted. This land is like really mega haunted. And literally you got these employees that find themselves, and the homeless guy finds themselves in the middle of something out of their nightmares. There literally is prisoners that are like yanking Amy's hair out, going and like reaching out like for any kind of resemblance of sanity. These inmates are so insane, it's not even funny, all because of this warden. And it was the warden's actions is why the prison was closed down to begin with, because the state discovered that the warden he liked his job a little too much, and they were horrified by what this warden was doing, shut the prison down, fired his ass, probably put him in prison, and they tore down the prison, and the land was unused for a very long time until this box store shows up. And so what ends up happening is Amy and all of these people, they're now trapped inside this Hall of Horrors, has to deal with rats. Rats. Oh God, I saw a rat one time years ago, and oh God, they're so disgusting. I'm not talking about the domesticated one. She's had the little pet store, but rats. This book was so fucking terrifying. This author, every scene that he writes is so terrifying. It's like he describes like the mildew, like so vividly you can actually see it in your mind's eye. It's like, oh my God. And then of course Amy manages to escape, and what does this idiot do? She goes back. Oh, why would you do that? I am not going back. You can all die. I don't care. Goes back there, and Basil is suspended from something that was outlawed by the Geneva Convention, and she manages to get him free, and they manage to finally get out. And guess what enables them to get out? Water. Very polluted water, but water. The glass can't take the pressure, and just like the Titanic, it broke. And guess who's waiting on them? Which is whoa weird. The fire department. I mean, they land like right at the firefighter's foot. And I think the firefighter's like, yeah, I think there's somebody alive. This book was, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, this is like a really interesting book to read. And I was really happy the library had it. But what ends up happening to Orsic? Well, the corporate decides that the building is a total loss, especially when mildew starts forming, because that's what happens. They tore the thing down. They tore it down. And what did they build in its place? A baby store. Really? What is up? Like, why would you build a baby store? And they're literally the same philosophy as the former people. There's two kinds of people. The dead and the living. That's the two types of people. This book was so freaky weird. And guess what? Amy is right back there. Why? She wants to try to rescue her friends. They're dead, girl. They've been dead for a long time. So, and of course Basil's there. And found out he ended up having to work for McDonald's for a while until the store was built. And yeah, it's, oh my God. Yeah, here's the really freaky thing about the chapters. Now the chapters are like, you got kind of like, what was it? Kind of like, it's kind of written in German. Like the title is written in German. It starts off with like the furniture, and then it moves to like torture devices. It's like, oh yay! If you want to have total immobility of your blood rushing to your brain, get this device. No. I don't understand the reason why he did it that way. You know, because the author, I guess, well, all authors have their own reasons why they do things the way they do. But anyways, I gave this book a solid 5 stars on Goodreads. It is a great book. It's absolutely terrifying. And yeah. Alright, so that is my review of Horrorstor. And I'm going to get a physical copy of the book next month. And that way I own it. So, yeah, never mind. Never mind. I mentioned it in that video when I was showing you guys like what I'm planning on to buy. So, I will see you guys around.